Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone finally acknowledged Kevin Costner after his exit as John Dutton IEI, and he was clearly missed. Weeks after Taylor Sheridan's Neo-Western flagship wrapped up its run, Yellowstone finally acknowledged Kevin Costner, and the reception showed that he was clearly missed. The veteran actor fronted the Paramount Network's mega hit for its first 4.5 seasons, but things went south behind the scenes, causing him to exit. Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 started with the murder of John Dutton IEA, which was really done to find a quick way to write such a central character. However, despite his absence, Costner and his character's presence was felt throughout the series' final episodes. The reasons for Costner's Yellowstone exit were more complicated than initially perceived. None of the parties involved, or even those who worked on the show, while this went down, have extensively discussed the matter, and it's safe to say that it would be the case in the foreseeable future. Regardless of what really happened, there was no denying that John Ivy's physical absence during Yellowstone's send-off was disappointing, considering how important he was to the story. Fans made sure to express that when the show finally acknowledged Costner for the first time since he left. A month after its ending, which included John Ivy's funeral, Yellowstone's official Instagram account greeted Costner for his birthday. Granted that this was a standard procedure for the social media page, as it also posted similar messages for other cast members' special occasions, but it was a big deal, considering how things ended between the actor and Sheridan. The greeting was accompanied by a promotional still of Costner as John IVA, with the post even tagging his official Instagram account. Check it out below. It's also worth noting that the Yellowstone social media page has previously acknowledged the unexpected death of the Dutton Ranch cowboy, Colby Mayhem. The grid still has a moment from the aftermath of his death, with Denham Richard tagged in it. Meanwhile, any kind of reference to John IE's death was tied to how it would move the plot forward and set up the eventual Yellowstone ending. Yellowstone losing Costner was big. For months, some were holding out hope that he and Sheridan would come to an understanding. It even resulted in the extended hiatus between Season 5's Parts 1 and 2. There were contradicting reports about the matter, but in the end, whatever the issue was remained unresolved. Subsequently, it was revealed that Sheridan had always planned for Yellowstone's ending, and it would have always included the death of John IE. This somehow helped the show find a way out of such a tricky situation. That said, the comments on Yellowstone's Instagram post about Costner's birthday re-emphasized just how much he was missed. There was a mix of responses with regard to people's opinions about his departure from the series, but overall, it conveyed that same sentiment. Ultimately, people didn't really care about the drama. Instead, they were more disappointed that the show had to move on, even just for a few episodes, without John IUI. It's difficult to blame them, however, since Costner was the original face and core character of Yellowstone. Enjoy Screen Rant's primetime coverage? Click below to sign up for our weekly Network TV newsletter. Make sure to check Network TV in your preferences and get the inside scoop from actors and showrunners on your favorite series. For years, Kevin Costner's portrayal of John Dutton IE defined Yellowstone *, turning it into one of the most successful TV dramas of its generation. His gruff leadership, unwavering devotion to his family, and no-nonsense approach to protecting the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch made him a television legend. However, when Costner's departure from the show became official, fans were left wondering how the series would handle such a seismic shift. Could Yellowstone move forward without the patriarch who had been its backbone since the very first episode? At first, the silence from the show's creators was deafening. Despite reports of tension behind the scenes and conflicting schedules, there was little official acknowledgement of Costner's exit. But as Season 5 wrapped up and the inevitable transition loomed, it became clear that Yellowstone would finally have to confront the absence of its most commanding presence. And when they did, the impact of John Dutton's absence was undeniable. ###, the acknowledgement fans had been waiting for. The first sign of Costner's influence lingering beyond his departure came in the form of a poignant tribute in the mid-season finale. While the show didn't take the predictable route of an on-screen death, at least not immediately, it carefully wove John Dutton's absence into the narrative. The power vacuum left in his wake sent ripples through the Yellowstone ranch, with Case, Beth, and Jamie all struggling to find their footing. In a particularly emotional scene, Rip Wheeler stood in John Dutton's office, running his hand over the desk where his mentor once sat. It was a moment of stillness, underscored by the heavy weight of loss, a silent nod to the man who had ruled both the land and the series with an iron will. Beth, usually armored in her fiery personality, found herself uncharacteristically vulnerable, staring out over the land her father had spent his life protecting. Even the bunkhouse, the heart of Yellowstone's working men, felt different. Without John Dutton, the chain of command had shifted, and the uncertainty among his cowboys reflected the uncertainty felt by viewers. If *Yellowstone* had been about protecting a legacy, then John Dutton's absence made that battle feel more precarious than ever before. ###, the unfillable void. Costner's John Dutton wasn't just the head of the family, he was the glue that held the entire show together. His exit meant that, for the first time, the series had to answer a daunting question. Could *Yellowstone* survive without him? The writers leaned into this uncertainty, crafting a storyline that made John's absence more than just a plot point. It became the central theme of the new direction. Political forces that once feared his wrath moved more aggressively against the Duttons. The ranch, long protected by John's foresight and strategy, suddenly felt more vulnerable. Jamie, never one to miss an opportunity, attempted to consolidate power in ways that would have been unthinkable if his father had still been around. And Beth, fueled by both grief and anger, waged her own war to ensure that her father's vision endured. There were also subtle visual cues that *Yellowstone* had not forgotten the man who started it all. The Dutton Ranch kept his chair at the table during meals. His voice, in the form of flashbacks and old recordings, occasionally broke the silence, reminding everyone, including the audience, that John Dutton was still very much present in spirit. ###, Kevin Costner's legacy lives on. When *Yellowstone* finally acknowledged Costner's departure, it did so in a way that felt organic to the show's deeply rooted themes of loyalty, land, and legacy. Unlike some series that abruptly remove key characters, *Yellowstone* chose a more nuanced approach. John Dutton's name was still spoken in hushed reverence, and his teachings continued to shape the decisions of those left behind. Off-screen, Costner's influence on the show's success was also undeniable. Ratings for *Yellowstone* remained strong, but discussions about the series' future always circled back to one question: how would it continue without him? Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind the series, had a difficult task ahead, maintaining *Yellowstone's signature grit and tension, while proving that the show could stand on its own without its original leading man. Interestingly, Costner himself remained relatively quiet about the show following his departure, focusing instead on his upcoming Western film series, Horizon *. Yet in interviews, co-stars and production members made it clear that his impact had not been forgotten. Several actors spoke about what it was like to work with him, reminiscing about his deep understanding of the Western genre and his dedication to storytelling. His departure may have been mired in off-screen drama, but his contributions were respected and celebrated.